All right, here we go. Figuring out volume for a round hole. Now that M3, that 3 doesn't come into play when we're talking about volume of a round hole, a cylinder, a circumference, whatever you want to call it. Now, the diameter of the hole is 0.300 millimeters, okay? So what we do is we take that diameter and we half it, and that becomes our radius, because what we're going to use is our radius, not our full 300 millimeters. Becomes a radius, so half that diameter being the radius is 0.150 millimeters. So that's the calculation we're going to use to figure out how much concrete we need for that one hole. Now, as I've said before, there's two different calculations you can use. If you've got a scientific calculator, you can use the pi symbol, and that R2 is represented on the calculator by X2, okay? What that does is that times the number by itself, not twice, but by itself, okay? So pi, number times by itself, times the depth, which in this case is 2.5 meters or 2,500 millimeters. Now, when you do your calculation, you should come up with a number like this. Well, you'll come up with this number, 0.1767145,868. Now, because this number here is greater than 5, that makes that number 6 a 7. We're only concentrating on the first 4 digits past the point. Now, if that was a 4 or less, that 6 would stay the same, okay? You always round up a number if the number after it is 5 or greater. So the other way we do it is 3.142 times 0.150 times 0.150. So what you're doing by timesing those numbers together, by timesing that number by itself, is you are taking that into effect. But you're not using a scientific calculator. All you're doing is timesing that number by itself. Times 2.5 again, which is the depth, and you should come up with this number, 0.1767375. So you'll see that the first 4 digits are similar, even though we've used 2 different calculations. Again, that 6 becomes a 7 because the number past the 6 is a 7. So again, that goes to 0.177 in this scenario and 0.177 in that scenario. Okay. So just do that and get yourself used to doing that calculation. Right, activity 6, question 3. You have an example of a hole that's 300 in diameter and 700 deep, right? Now, the way we're going to figure out how much concrete we need for each hole is we're going to figure out how much concrete how much concrete is held in the hole before the post, and then we figure out the volume of the post, and we take the post away from the hole. So I'll say that again. We're going to figure out the volume of the hole first, then the volume of the post, and take the volume of the post away from the volume of the hole. So the hole, again, we can do 3.142 times 0.150 times 0.150, because that's the radius of the hole, which is half your diameter, and the diameter being 300. Now, the depth in this one is only 700, so it's 0.700. So again, don't forget to put your decimal points in. When you figure that out, and I want you guys to figure this one out, obviously, because it's actually in your books, you write down the answer for that. The next step is your post. Now, your post is not round. Your post is square. So there's no magic formula in finding out the volume of your post. You simply go 0.125 times 0.125, which is the diameter or the measurement of your post, times 0.6, which is the depth of your hole, the depth of your post, sorry. Now, we come with 0.6 because at the bottom of your hole, you have 100 millimeters. The post sits 100 millimeters up from the bottom of your hole. We call that a punch pad. Now, the purpose of the punch pad is that that post does not sink into the ground at the bottom of the hole. So when that post comes under pressure, it's not going to sink into that dirt. So the punch pad acts as a pad, a strong foundation to stop that happening. Now, when you've figured out what the volume of your post is, you take the volume of your post away from the volume of your hole, right? And then you're left with the volume of concrete in that hole. Okay? So you do your post first. So your hole first, then your post. You take your post away from your hole, and that's what you're left with is the volume of concrete in that one hole. If you have any questions about it, text me or ring me and I can go through it with you. Otherwise, have a go at that, guys. I'm confident that you guys will be able to do this because you're clever. Talk to you later. Bye.